to this Artist Alley session. My name's Justin Ashbrook. I'm your host. So let's get started. So I just want to get a feel for what everyone is doing, what their art is like, stuff like that. So if everyone could just start by introducing themselves, if you have like a name or pronouns you want to make people aware of, and what kind of art you do, how you got started, stuff like that. So anyone can just jump in.
I guess I'll go first. My art name, my cosplay name, and my general pseudonym is Black Dahlia, but my actual name is Calypso, so just call me Calypso. And I'm mostly I'm a cosplayer and costume maker. I also do some art, mainly not safe for work art, under the name Dahlia Draws. And I was planning to do a lot of competitions before lockdown, and I was planning to try and enter the European Championship with Saint Celestine, which you can see parts of in my background. And I can probably show you some of my drawing work. One of the more kind of less extreme ones, and that's like a moth demon I did. And I do some like resin stuff as well, kind of thing.
I'm Andrea. I go by Gravity Doll. That's my shop name. I do a lot of things. Mostly it's illustration, which I don't have anything with me right now because I just moved. I do leather work, which is a piece I'm wearing right now. And I also do soap making. It's a handmade soap. It's all from the process. And I make a lot of stickers. I also go by they, them, in case anyone's curious about pronoun stuff. So, and I'm very, all my art is very body positive, very all race, all colors, all genders positive. So yeah, I'm usually on Twitter under Gravity_Doll, and then Instagram under Gravity Doll.
Awesome. So I guess Frying Sausage, you can go next.
Hear me?
Yeah.
So I'm Frying Sausage. My name is May. I'm a lettering artist, graphic designer, illustrator, and I make pins usually. Mostly I draw a lot of weeb nonsense, lettering, and Gengars.
Awesome. So Paris, you wait, are you? Yeah, Paris. Yeah, you can go next.
My name's Paradise, or I go by Paris too, and my username is Arupako. And I just kind of draw whatever I like. I mainly do like digital and traditional art, and I post it all online. And a lot of merch I make is primarily like charms, apparel, and stuff like that.
Great. So next thing I want to cover, who do you guys think inspired you, like in terms of other artists and just like styles in general? Yeah, go ahead.
For me, I'd say in cosplay wise, the Kimpatsu cosplay, her cosplays are perfect. There is no one that I can see that actually matches her in sheer skill. Like the detail on all of her pieces is exceptional. And in terms of art, I would say it was like Art Nouveau as a general genre of time, and the way they draw and mucker a lot. And trying to remember, like I'm inspired by a lot of classical art because my dad is an art historian, and I like lots of different styles, comic book art, watercolor, but mostly my main thing is making costumes. So that's inspired by anything that I come across. Also, an artist called Len. She mostly does Inuyasha art and not safe for work art, and she is literally what made me want to draw not safe for work art, because I was just like, her stuff is incredible. All of her comics, they're wonderful. I love them.
So I guess Generation Monster, you can go next.
So I go by Lexi or Generation Monster. I know
Okay.
my phone it overheated a second ago, so I had to come back in. I mainly do creepy, cute apparel, that kind of stuff. I love anything to do, honestly, with creepiness. But I'm inspired by a multitude of people. Like, it could even be like just scrolling through Instagram alone. I could just be like, oh, I like their eyes, or I like the way they draw lips, or things like that. But if it's, I think the artist name is Hizgi, Hizgi on Instagram. I love their styling. It's just like cute, pretty, creepy girls.
Gravity Doll, you can go next.
Your microphone's off.
Yeah, you need to unmute.
There we go. I have no headphone right now, so I'm muting myself so I don't too much background noise. But I say, in terms of things, I've always loved kaiju and things like that. So a more contemporary artist that I really love is Konatsuya. She's a Japanese artist. She does vinyl figures and watercolor paintings. I really loved her artwork and it's kind of inspired me to keep, just trying new things a lot of times. And let's see, another artist I really like. Sakizo, who does some really just gorgeous detailed work, also watercolors. They're both Japanese artists. You could probably find them by Googling them. They're pretty popular, so.
I guess I'm just going in order of left to right the way I see them on the screen. So I guess Frank Sausage, you can go next.
So I was inspired as a kid by Kim Taken. I think everyone was, to be honest. And Kawayuki. But yeah, most of them, I think.
Cool. So Paris, am I saying that correctly?
Yeah, you can just say Paris.
Okay.
I would say the most notable people would probably be a few other artists that I'd seen online. Like, I remember Cartoon Girl. I really loved her work, especially she did Copic art, which is one of the main mediums I use. I also really love, I don't know how to pronounce it correctly, but Lauvan. I love his work too, and I like Bailey J's because I just really love just drawing adorable things and making very cute and happy things.
Yeah. Cool. So I think one or two of you touched on this in the first question, but what's your favorite medium of art? So like physical art, digital art, like what kind of material, stuff like that do you guys like to use?
For me, my favorite is to paint. I really don't have a good grasp on digital art at all. I've never really worked with it. I'm trying to teach myself, but I'm still wouldn't post it. It's gouache paint, which is the same paint that Mucka used. It's very underutilized. It's an old style poster paint, and it really has a lot of the benefits of acrylic and watercolor. I also use watercolor pens and like inking in pens as a mix between all of those things. I used to use acrylic, but I now prefer gouache. And in terms of cosplay, it's literally anything I can get my hands on. Like, I adore Wobbler, foam. I have to say, like, pigments, like paint pigments, like gold pigment, as you can see on this armor. I just move this bit forward. Is like one of my favorite things. It actually looks like real gilded metal, and foam clay I used to make these seals. Is one of my favorite materials. I've made so many things with it because it just has so much ability to. You can just make so much stuff with it. Yeah, so I kind of revamped that. Yeah, I think that's about it for like stuff I like to use.
I guess I'll go next.
Yeah.
I really have always loved Copic markers. I've used them my whole life pretty much. Up until last year, I started using a little bit Procreate. Started doing digital. It's so difficult. But I've always loved Copic artwork.
For me, I prefer ink. I like to use nib pins still, and I use brush pins a lot of times. Watercolor is a big one for me, and I also do digital as a kind of easier to distribute and display and show right away and show progress on. So those are kind of my favorite things. And also leather. I do leather working, so yeah, those are kind of my favorite mediums.
Frying sausage, you can go ahead.
Primarily I work with digital, so Procreate, Photoshop, Illustrator, but I love watercolor a lot, but I'm terrible at it, but I love it. It's one of my favorites. I also love markers, fountain pens, brush pens, things like that.
And Paris.
I have a problem where I like pretty much every medium. I just find it fun to like experiment with everything. I'm not good at it, but I love experimenting with various mediums. But the ones that I do always fall back onto are digital, primarily with like Clip Studio Paint and Copic markers.
Cool. So, what would you guys say if you had to come up with one? Is like an overall message or an emotion you're trying to portray with? It could be your art in general. It could be like a specific piece.